There. Excuse me. Let's delete this one. Edit video. All right, we should be back up and running. I'm sorry about that, guys. Sorov, how's it going? How are you? Thank you for the follow on Twitch, by the way, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. We should be up and running now. I don't know why my computer wants to do these things, but we move on. Well, I do know why. I'm going to take care of it tomorrow. There we go. There we go. All right, I'm going to wait for everybody to get back in, make sure everything's working properly. There we go. Back to normal. Every once in a while, I'll kick up my OBS and my frames or my upload speed just cuts in half for no reason at all, and then I have to restart my computer. And I think it might just because there's systems running in the background that I gotta go figure out. Any nice 1vx's on Ashes of Creation? I hope so. Nothing yet, of course, but I hope so someday. Fine, how are you? I'm good. I'm good. So yeah, so yesterday I did a live stream covering New World, covering ESO's patch notes. And a couple people made the comment that I don't live stream very often. And I was like, you're right. I'm going to live stream more this week. And there's just some things I wanted to talk about. And I was like, if I just knock it out today, then I don't have to procrastinate. And I can get a lot. I could talk to you guys again and can talk about the very, very exciting live stream tomorrow. Talk about some other things that I want to talk about as well, Ashes of Creation related. And then tomorrow we're just going to talk about what happened in the live stream, what everything entails, and all that. And that's going to be really exciting. I want to see your first hate message after you kill someone. Okay, I'll make sure to post them. Hate messages are a good time. They're a good time. There we go. So I wanted to talk about a few other things, but there was an update today. Ashes of Creation Newsbot on Discord posted a couple pictures. They posted a few pictures for the live stream that's happening tomorrow. The recording already happened, and so I figured it'd be kind of fun to go and look at it. And then, talk about other things. Make sure we're up and running here. There we go. All right. So let's switch this. So these are the pictures that were posted earlier today. I'll try and make them a little bit bigger. The detail is not my computer. That's the picture. And I guess people in the Discord are kind of going off about this. And so at least that's what I heard. And so the picture I see here, that these are the people that are participating in the Caravan preview tomorrow. These are people from the Phoenix Initiative. PI is the short term. Basically, early investors in Ashes. And so they are going to be doing the Caravan live stream. And the first thing I see here is 3, 6, 9, 10 people. 10 people in this one. If we look at the next one, we are getting a substantial combat preview, which is very exciting. Like I was Nice and I talked about this a couple months ago, like how big of a combat preview you want to see, and I was hoping it was going to be in the 10v10 to 15v15 region. That's what I was hoping for. And if we look here, we got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 27, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. So it's like 34 to 36 people. So it's like 17 on 17 or 18 on 18, I would assume. I'm assuming everybody in this picture is participating in tomorrow's live stream. That would be my assumption. 35 in that one. Okay. Yeah, I'm assuming these two guys in the back are guards. They're guards. But yeah, it's going to be a pretty big PvP thing, which I think is good. I think having a bigger PvP event is great. I think it opens up some opportunities for seeing large scale combat. Not a bad size. Yeah. Nice and I talked about this. I wanted something around this size personally. I'm not a size queen. I don't care, like bigger isn't always better. I think if you're really trying to do a good combat preview, you want that nice blend of a good amount of people to show how combat's going to work in a group-based combat game. If you have too many people, it then becomes too many animations on screen, in my opinion. Like, I mean, I'm sure we've all engaged in those big battles and in some games, it just becomes like a laser lights festival. And if we don't know the skills and abilities, we don't know the animations by heart, which I'm assuming a lot of us will not, it's a lot easier to see what's going on with less people. So maybe it's a card game. So yeah, I really like that it's around this size. I wouldn't have been against it being smaller, even like if it was like a 5-on-5 or 10-on-10 or something like that, like something much smaller, because then you could see more details. But this many people means we get to see potentially a lot more classes, a lot more synergies going off, and things like that. So that's, in my opinion, I think that's very exciting. The other thing, Galwood, how's it going, by the way? I'm sorry, I didn't say hi. I'm not a size queen. Yeah, that's not going to come back and bite me. The other thing going on with these pictures is people are making fun of, obviously, the what it looks like. And I get it. But at the same time, like, I don't know if it's the PC or if it's just the settings. Maybe they lowered the settings for performance. I have no idea. I don't know who took these pictures. I don't know where. I honestly, I don't care. I'm excited to see the live stream tomorrow. I've taken very, very bad pictures of the games that I play. Zooming on the Vec on the top image, left side, just looks rough. And one of the guys sitting down is still holding a shield in his hand. Nothing serious, just not polished, obviously. Yeah. Are you talking about this big one where they're laying down? Zoom in. Enhance. Assume you mean this one, or is it this one? If we zoom in on, we'll just zoom in on both. There we go. You guys don't need to see my credit card information. There we go. So yeah, so these are the pictures that I guess people are not very happy about. Yeah, the character screen that they showed even last year looks a little bit sharper than this. Just a little bit sharper, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure. I know we're going to see more tomorrow, so I'm not too worried. I'm guessing we're going to see when these pictures happen, and I'm just curious as to what that will entail. But yeah, I think Nice posted a meme from earlier. Yeah. Let me post this little screenshot from Richie. I'll zoom out on this. SB, what's going on? How are you? I gotta zoom out even more. Sorry about that, guys. We're figuring it out. There. Here's Richie's. So he did. Not worried about the characters models looking good yet. Yeah, no, I don't care either. I think it's one of those things where like the working combat area and what they can show are possibly two different things. It's just like we've seen these buildings and these buildings haven't looked this rough, right? So my perspective on it, and I very well could be a homer, but like if we go and we look at let me pull up a live stream here real quick. We'll pull this up and we'll talk about it. But from my perspective, it very well could be somebody taking a picture and they just have an older computer with worse settings and they have to run the game at lower settings in order to get the game to work well. It very well could be that, because if you look at these walls during one of the Ashes of Creation, like the Node live stream, they don't look like this, in my opinion. So that's why I'm not like super like, oh my gosh, these look awful sort of perspective. Because yeah, they didn't look like this in the live stream, and I think it just comes down to the PC settings of whoever did it. But it's still the memes are going to be quite good. Let me pull up the Node update. Here we go. Mute it. So if we get to a point in the live stream where we're exactly by that wall, just a bad screenshot. Yeah, it is. It's pretty amusing. I can't wait to see all the memes that come from this. Is it in the beginning? I thought it was also at the end. So these are the parts where he cuts down the trees. There he is. So yeah, so I'm assuming it's right here. So let's see what my settings are at. So I'm at 1080 right now. Not super high settings or anything. I'm streaming at 1080 also. I should be streaming at 1080. I better be. Yeah, let's pause right here. So yeah, so you see I think it's a very similar spot. So you got this in the background. This is 1080p. These are the characters. These are what the characters look like. And then this is what this one looks like. And so I don't know. My point is well, did I accidentally delete it? I did. 1 second. People reacting to a low resolution screenshot, all you have to do is watch the videos, and even those lose quality during recording. Yeah. I mean, that's exactly my point. Like I don't want to go too deep in on walls. That's what other players are for. They're there to talk about snow shading and grass shading and you know what wall aesthetics look like. To me, this is what we see with higher resolution on the live stream. Whoever took the screenshot very well could just be on an older PC. Like that's like this Caravan, like these pictures. This is what I have to run ESO like. Like ESO at higher resolution doesn't look like this. It looks at least a little bit better. So yeah, it is a funny picture though, because here's this one. Here's this meme that already popped up. There we go. So this is pretty good. How it started, how it's going. This is the character creator that they revealed. And then these are the characters that they have. Yeah, I get it. I get it. So I don't know. If it's Steven's live stream tomorrow and this is what it looks like, then yeah, I will be right there with you guys. I'll be right there. But I'm not too worried about a low resolution screenshot. What very well could be a low resolution screenshot. But it is very funny. This is very funny. Let's see if there's any more. I'm gonna go patrol the Discord real quick and see if there's any more popping up here. Shit. Okay. All right. Not many that I can find. But yeah. I don't know. You know how it is. You see something new and people automatically jump all over it. And so yeah, it's not a great picture. It's not a great picture. But even where this is at, this looks like where the Ranger showcase was. And I have the Ranger showcase playing in the background, and well, the Ranger was in snow. I mean, it might be the same spot. It might be a different area, but the rocks in the Ranger showcase didn't look like this. So yeah, regardless, I hopefully there's a few more memes that pop up from this. They take a Polaroid of their screen. Do they even snip? Yeah, that's a good point. This is what Kirchhoff screenshots look like sometimes. Like when you take a picture of your TV and you're like, hey man, like check out my inventory, and you don't know how to take a screenshot. You're taking a picture of your monitor. That's a good point. Go. So yeah. Anyways, that just happened a few hours ago. Like I was just hopping on to live stream, and then Nice started posting these memes. This happened what? 40 minutes ago. Yeah, 40 minutes ago. I just started getting ready, and all this kind of happened, and I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, I guess we'll talk about this real quick." Um what I wanted to talk about, some of the armor looks cool. Okay, sorry about that. Some of the armor looks cool. Obviously, a lot of it looks the same, probably just sets given out for the PvP event. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing these pictures and it just doesn't look the same, right? That's all. But yeah, they have some very, very cool armor sets. And so it'll be interesting to see what the live stream looks like tomorrow from Steven's perspective with higher resolution. You see some archers here. We can zoom in on this one real quick, see what we got here. Blap, what's going on, dude? So we see on the right side here, we got two archers. Pretty clearly looks like two rangers. The guy in the back here at least looks like he has a bow. They have the same armor, so I'm assuming this is the same layout. I'm assuming this guy is a ranger as well. So I would assume all three of these are rangers. What else we got here? Do we see any other weapons with this group? I'm not seeing sword and shields with this specific group. Blap, we were given some screenshots of the combat preview that's going on tomorrow, and so we're deep diving into what they are. And so a bunch of people in this have shields. So we got a bunch of people in the front with shields. Let's zoom in just a little bit. Enhance. So yeah, see, so these are the same people from before. We got a few rangers. I would assume we have some tanks here, some tank / warriors. We got another ranger here in the back. I would assume it's a ranger. And yeah, a bunch of brawlers. I don't. Big ass hammer over here. Sorry, I'm not pointing very well. There's a big ass hammer right here. So yeah, big greatsword. Yeah, it looks like just a combination of rangers, fighters, tanks, and probably clerics. I thought maybe we might get a few other characters, but maybe we're not. Saw a picture on a Facebook Ashes group with a bunch of shields on backs and quivers. Was hoping they were at that stage. Could have been a fake photo though. Sure. But yeah, these are the photos revealed before the combat preview tomorrow, and so we're just kind of pouring over them. And there's some memes that happen from that. But yeah, I wanted to. We'll switch this over here. Like, I mean, look at those pictures that we just showed, and then look at the Ranger showcase. Like the rocks don't look the same. It just looks like a low resolution picture to me. Go make sure we're all caught up in chat. But yeah, I wanted to talk to you guys about the live stream tomorrow. We're getting the combat preview tomorrow. I may be able to live stream it during the day. The girls are at school at that point in time, so I might be able to get away to take time out to watch it as it happens and kind of commentate as it happens. We'll see. Regardless, Nice and I will be doing our Voices of Era podcast tomorrow, talking about tomorrow's combat preview, talking about their live stream and everything. And we just decided to delay it a day because it's better to talk about the live stream after it happens than talk today about before. But there's so many things I wanted to talk about. I've been sick for like the last 2.5 weeks, guys. I have 3 or 4 different Ashes of Creation videos that I wanted to do. And I was like, I should just get a live stream out, have a conversation with you guys, since we normally do on Tuesday anyways, and kind of talk about things that I'm excited for as far as this upcoming live stream goes, and then other conversations that I want to have. So yeah, as far as that goes, I am very excited for the combat live stream tomorrow. And part of the reason I'm really excited about it, obviously, is I am a PvPer at heart. I do really enjoy PvP. It's my favorite thing in engaging in games. PvP just has that replayability for me, where it's always changing. And so that act react type of combat, like oftentimes when you fight NPCs or PvE style player or characters in most games, once you figure it out, it's just like the replayability is done. More often than not, replayability is not done in a PvP environment. And so this is what keeps me coming back. And one of my biggest question marks in Ashes of Creation is actually what the combat's going to look like. And we're so early. They're obviously for all of last year, they were redoing all of they were showcasing all their systems. We had the node showcase, we had the freehold showcase. They went through and did a world boss event, and then we got up to level 30 of characters. And it makes sense that you're not going to do a PvP combat live stream until you have characters kind of fleshed out, because like, how are you going to show combat if you don't have characters ready to fight, right? And so I've been waiting, but it's been a question mark because we don't know what these characters look like. We don't know what combat's going to look like. And combat's going to be a big aspect of what keeps people in this game. A lot of people are really going to hinge on it. I watch a lot of content creators, guys. When I'm doing the podcast, I look at people that talk positively about Ashes. I look at videos that talk more negatively. I look at other reviews. I get other perspectives. Same thing I do when I talk to you guys. Like I want to stay grounded in my opinion. Like I don't want to just be like a fanatical homer in one direction or another. I'll save that for sports. But that I like to see other perspectives, hear other points of view, and see if it has merit. Like see if these arguments have merit. And one of the content creators that I watched was Blue Squadron. He just did a review a few weeks ago talking about Ashes of Creation. And, he comes from BDO, and no BDO slander or anything like that, but BDO has a very specific type of combat. What he's looking out for Ashes of Creation is a very specific type of combat. Like he wants a type of combat that is going to surpass BDO's combat, because BDO's combat is 8 to 10 years old. I forget exactly when BDO came out. And so his perspective is if it can't beat a 10-year-old MMO combat wise, like why would I go to it? And I can understand that. Like if you're really into BDO's PvP, you're going to need something more action based. I don't think he's going to get that. I don't think he's going to get that, but I do think after watching the Ranger Showcase last month, I'm very excited to see what the other classes are. I'm really excited to see what the fleshed out combat is going to be and what it's going to look like. Like, I don't think it's going to be very polished tomorrow, obviously, because it's the first run through. Like they're not really working on it. They're just showcasing where they're at. And so I have low expectations, but I'm excited to see like the beginning framing structure. So I can't wait. Really excited to see what they have in store for us. E-Man, what's going on, man? Yeah, I am very excited. That's why I decided to live stream today also. So I'm sure it'll be fun to watch. I'm not sure it will be super informative or anything, but that's okay. Yeah, exactly. Like I hope it's fun to watch. I just want to see good fluid. Like we, as gamers, we know what looks fun and what doesn't, right? Like if you watch combat on a game, you can kind of tell almost immediately, like, hey, is this something I want to play or is it not? And that's going to be interesting to see, because this is pre-alpha 2. Like, there's going to be so many more iterations of combat, so many more improvements. I'm not worried about what it looks like tomorrow. I'm just excited that they're at a point to where they can showcase that they have something. Like, that's me. I'm like, wow, like we're getting to combat. So I'm very excited in that way. BDO combat is very unique, and people are foolish to look for it in another game. Unique in it, yeah. Well, exactly. Well, and that's the thing too, is every MMO combat wise is just so different, and it should be. Like, I don't want Ashes of Creation's combat to play like New World. I don't want Ashes of Creation's combat to play like World of Warcraft or ESO or BDO or anything like that. I want it to be its own thing. The minute you start copying other people's combat systems and it looks like somebody else, you're just a bastardized version of what their combat is. Like, you're just a worse version of what they have. Like, BDO has been iterating and improving their combat, you would hope, for the last 10 years. Like, they've had their combat system for 10 years. To attempt to copy them and do their combat better, it's kind of hubris, right? Like, it's hubris to think that you're going to be able to do their system better than they are. And so that's kind of where I'm at. Like, I want to see something, a weaving of combination of skills and abilities. I want to see players syncing and coordinating with each other to take out other opponents. I want to see skills and abilities combined to create unique effects on the battlefield. I want to see those sorts of things, like things that we've seen in the fighter showcase or in the tank showcase and in the cleric showcase, where you have the chains that come up and they kind of lock people down and stuff like that. The ranger showcase showed that they're going to have abilities that will operate out of the cooldown system, which I think is fantastic. I think that is a great way to speed up combat on an archetype that's supposed to just be faster paced. It's supposed to be a little bit more reactionary based. And I really like what the Ranger looks like. And so that's why I'm so excited for the live stream. I want to see what the other characters look like. I want to see what the melee characters look like. Cause we're actually going to see players that have been playing a class or archetype and have been testing for a while. And we're going to see like Steven said it before, his live streams are to show skills and abilities. It's not to show what the character plays like, right? Tomorrow, we're going to see players that have been playing for a while. I want to say PI have been playing since like December. I think that's the rumor that I heard. They've been testing for a little bit now. And so we're going to see players that have been playing a class for a month now or a month plus. And so they're just going to know their specific class, and they're going to be able to play it in a way that we haven't seen in a live stream. And so I think that is a very exciting aspect of it. I was going to post that video in the Voices Discord, but I'm not Discord savvy at all. Which video? Which video are you talking about, JW? I can post it if I see it. There's a Discord there should be a channel for forums and Reddit topics. You can throw it in there if you want. As long as it's, not porn. That's for the other Discord. But yeah, I'm gonna do a semi hot take. There was a conversation that was had in our Voices of Vera Discord. So we have a Discord channel. I'll just provide the link. If you guys want to join, you can. We just talk Voices of Vera in there. It's a little bit smaller right now. It's gonna get bigger. The more, like, it's only like a month old. So I'm gonna link the invite here if you guys want to. If you want to join, cool. If not, that's cool too. But we had. Sorry, I'm accidentally pinning Blap's comments. That's the Discord, and then we'll go to YouTube. We'll tag it over there, and yeah, that's the Voices of Vera Discord. But one of the guys in there, he brought up a really good point that I kind of wanted to talk about and pivot off of a little bit here. Where exactly was it? Oh, here it is. And it's a very valid point. I think a lot of people share. And if you do agree, let me know in the comment section. But he said, "Man, I'm nervous. I really hope they come close to getting it right PvP wise. This one is going to make or break it. The vision, not the execution. They have time to polish everything. I just hope their vision of PvP isn't crazy." And so his point of view, I think it's justifiable, right? Like this is the first time we're seeing PvP. It's like, okay, what's it going to look like? Is it going to be something that's just extremely outdated and it's not going to look fun and enjoyable, or is it going to have some really cool aspects to it? And so I get that point of view. I don't really disagree. I don't really agree. I do think for quite a few people, combat and what it looks like is going to make or break it. My perspective, in my opinion, is I think the systems in Ashes are going to be so good, they're going to be so polished that the combat really won't matter. Like obviously I want more enjoyable combat. I want the combat to feel good and play well. But my perspective is the systems, if the systems are done well and they're done properly, the combat could be very, very mediocre and people will get a lot of enjoyment out of it because it's all about the competition. It's all about the fighting over the resources, the fighting over the nodes, the fighting over all these other things, and the teamwork. And so the combat to me could look very outdated, and I would have a lot of fun playing it. That's my hot take. I just need to steal stuff already and beat up PvE noobs. HD, what's going on? Welcome in. Welcome in. But yeah, not everybody's going to agree with me. I'm not saying that you have to agree or disagree. Wow, we got 2 people joining the Discord. Cool. Everybody's different. And so if you're of the opinion that combat is going to make or break the game for you, let me know. Like I'm just curious like where people are at. Is combat going to be the thing, or are you just going to be more attached to the systems, or is it going to be a hey, I have to get in the game and figure this out. Like there's tiers to this. I can't answer it right now. But yeah, I that's where I stand. I played a game that was full loot PvP 10 years ago, and it was a browser based game. It was a browser based game. It wasn't an MMO, but you had alliances and you would fight other people on the server and everything. And the combat was nothing. There was nothing to the combat. It was all calculated. So if you had an army of like 100,000 archers and the other person had an army of 100,000 swordsmen, the combat was already pre-calculated. Like their system was already pre-calculated as to what would happen. So you did no engagement. You just built specific troops and you attacked with specific troops. And so it was a lot more like chess based than combat based. But I played that game for years. Because the combat wasn't great, but the resource scarcity and the teamwork with coordinating and figuring out how to tear down castles was a lot of fun. Like figuring out how to go about doing that, how to destroy and crush your enemies was very, very exciting for me. And so that's where I come from on it. That's kind of my perspective is I played a game that had way worse combat than anything we're going to see tomorrow, and I had a blast with it. And I would go back to it if it didn't turn into just complete pay to win, and I would probably enjoy the hell out of it again. So that's my perspective is as long as they get that knocked out, I think it's going to be a good time. The squadron vid. Okay. Oh, sure. Combat can make or break it, but with the information we already have, I think combat will be fine. Yeah. The Ranger, to me, the Ranger showcase gave me a lot of optimism. Like I was very, very excited with how they went about with the Ranger showcase. Just, I know some people disagree with some of the skills and abilities. I like how some of the skills and abilities operated outside of the cooldown system for debuffs on the opponent and to make it a little bit more fast paced. Need to get into Guild Wars 2 to get ready for Ashes. Yes. I'm actually going to do that. I'm playing Elden Ring right now. Not actively right now, but I'm beating Elden Ring. I have a few more bosses to beat. I'm also playing New World. And last week I played a lot of Elden Ring PvP. I was very, very bad at it. But my plan is like a month or two before Ashes goes live, I want to give Guild Wars 2 a shot. Barring like any like super new game comes out and really catches my attention. Like New World could have a really nice DLC. Elden Ring could come out with a good DLC. Maybe something else catches my attention. I'm not sure, but I definitely want to play some Guild Wars and get used to the action camera on that game and get used to that kind of layout, because everything I've been told is Guild Wars 2 is very similar to Ashes and in that regard. And so it'd be good to get used to that type of gameplay before I get an Ashes. So it's a little bit easier of a learning curve to get into it. Yeah, I completely agree. I've watched a few clips on Guild Wars, and it still looks good, man. It still looks good. Nice was saying the same thing. Yeah, him and I have talked a little bit about it. Like, he keeps talking about how much fun he has on Guild Wars, and then I see some clips, and I'm like, that looks like fun. And I like that it's easy to get into the game too. Like the ease of access to get into PvP and everything is very, very cool. I think that's great. And so yeah, I think we're in the same boat. We'll probably have to do that. Probably June, July, or whatever. We'll probably have to do some Guild Wars 2 and try out that combat and get ready for Ashes. So, but yeah, I'm kind of hopeful. Like, I don't expect this. Like, I don't expect this to happen, but I really, looking at the pictures, I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're only going to show the archetypes that they've already shown in combat, which is fine. But part of me was like, man, if a rogue just comes from out of nowhere and just nukes somebody, I'm going to lose my shit, right? Or like if you see a bard come out with a guitar or a lute or a flute or something like that, I'm going to lose my shit. If you see a summoner just start like casting, like if we see something else that we haven't seen, that's going to be super exciting. Just like that little Easter egg, you know? But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I played Guild Wars 2 PvP only. It was fun, but I don't know why I couldn't stick to the game. I heard the Guild Wars 2 PvP is a little tough. It's a little tough from like a solo perspective. That's what Nice was saying. Nice was saying that they have weapon swap on cooldown, which is one of the issues with that specific game. So it's not that you have one weapon, it's that you have to have it off cooldown in order to weapon swap to your other weapon, which just seems so goofy to me. Like, that seems really goofy. I don't think I'm going to like that very much at all. Like, I'm okay with one weapon. I'm okay with weapon swapping. I don't want to have a cooldown on weapon swap. I think that's like the worst of both worlds, in my opinion. I don't know. I feel like I'm pretty flexible in that regard, right? Like, yeah, I could do one weapon. I'd rather do two, but I can do one. I just don't want the cooldown for it. That would be so annoying to get, caught out of position or get surprised in a situation, and you want to weapon swap and you can't weapon swap for 5 seconds. Like, that's, yeah. But it's a different type of combat. It's something you can figure out and, work around and everything. But yeah, it's the other thing I wanted to talk about is, as you guys know, we do our podcast every Tuesday normally, and we're doing Wednesday this week, but every Tuesday, every Monday, I go through and I look on Reddit and I look on the forums and I look at different conversations. I watch videos. I try not to do react videos of other people's opinions because it's your opinion, right? Like your opinion's fine. I've seen all sorts of opinions. Like I'll read the forums and people will say, hey, this game has too narrow of a scope. Only PvPers are going to enjoy this game. Because only PvPers are going to enjoy this game, you're not going to make any money. It's not going to be any good. I've seen that argument a lot. I watched another video of a guy, and he's like, yeah, he goes, I got a hot take. He goes, I think Ashes of Creation is going to fail. And I was like, I don't think that's a hot take at all. Like most Kickstarter games, like fail is all subjective, right? Like most MMOs see some sort of, like, if they're decent, they see some form of profitability, but people's version of fail is like, be a top 5 MMO. If your vision is that Ashes of Creation is going to replace like World of Warcraft or one of the other, like I think it's going to happen, but if that's your vision and anything less than that is a failure, I think more often than not, you're going to set yourself up for failure viewing games like that. And so I don't think it's a hot take that, you know, if you see a random Kickstarter game and you're like, oh, that's going to fail. I don't think that's a hot take at all. But he went on and he was like, yeah, he goes, the reason it's going to fail is because they're catering to too many people. And I'm not going to lie, I didn't watch the rest of the video. I shut it off right then and there because I was like, I don't know how you can make that argument. And like I understand the too narrow of a scope PvP argument, but you're catering to everybody and therefore it's not going to be a good game. I just saw that. I was like, he must be thinking of a different game. Like he must be talking about something different because that is not something I've heard or necessarily agree with at all. The talking about Guild Wars 2, the exploration alone is good enough for me. I've done my fair share of PvP, mainly arenas and instance, sorry. I had fun. I'm definitely more PvE minded, but if I got a fight to progress, then let's go. Yeah. Hey, I mean, it's combat, right? Whether you're fighting that's my perspective, whether you're fighting NPCs or you're fighting players, combat's combat. Homie's probably thinking about ESO. Yeah, it was, I mean, like you're saying, E-Man, like we come from a game that tries to cater to everybody, or they try to cater to newer players to get more people in. They're trying to bring in as many players as possible. Ashes is not doing that. They're not doing that at all. If they were, they would have said, hey, we'll look into PvEs. We'll look into PvE servers. Like we'll look into these things. We'll talk about this. We'll try and figure it out. That would be catering to the masses, and yeah, that's not happening right now. That's why I was just like, okay, this doesn't make any sense. But I do think that there is a very big aspect of Ashes that could cause it to fail that I haven't seen anybody else bring up. And I'm not saying it will, guys. I'm not saying it will. This is something that when I get into Alpha 2, this is something I will be looking specifically at. And if you're going to hate, like if you're going to have a strong argument, I'm providing it for you right now. I think the combat can make or break it for some people, but specifically the world of Vera very well could make or break how people perceive Ashes. Join the Discord. We have furries and hot take. 6, what's going on, dude? Good to see you. Like, so you guys have all seen the overall map of Vera. It is substantially larger. I want to say, what is it? The land size is like 16 times the size of New World's, and we're going to have roughly 3 times the size of the population. And so I did a video on this talking about it about a month ago, but people are very concerned about getting zerked down by big guilds and everything. And I just think the map is extremely spacious. It's very wide open. It's very like I play New World, and you guys can judge me all you want. That's fine. I totally get it. But there's times where I'm riding from different areas where I don't see anybody for minutes. And when you think about the population density of what New World is on a server with 3,000 people, and then you think about Ashes having 10,000 players, only 3 times more people, it should be a lot less dense. And so although New World has a toggle, and the toggle system kind of ruins the PvP aspect of it, we talked about that a lot, and Ashes does not, I think you can kind of look at it and you could say, okay, there's just going to be a lot less interaction that you'll see unless you're around a node and everything when you're out in the world. And if that's the case, in order to make the world immersive and enjoyable, you almost have to look at, like Vera almost has to be looked at as like an ARPG, as far as like world events, as far as dungeons, as far as quests and everything goes. And so New World suffered from this on the leveling up. Like they didn't have, like you had to travel to each city when I was leveling up in order to get a fast travel point. Ashes isn't going to have fast traveling. So leveling up in New World and traveling around in Ashes is going to be very similar starting out. And there just wasn't a whole lot going on. There wasn't a lot to experience in the world because I think they were planning on having PvP combat everywhere, and it just didn't work out that way. And so I think you'll get more combat in Ashes, but due to people spreading out, I think the world needs to be very well designed and laid out as far as like questing and everything goes. As long as Ashes of Creation servers don't bomb at the start like New World, I don't think Ashes will fail. Yeah. As long as the map isn't exactly. And so, and that's how I look at it. Like the biggest, most hyped recent MMO. I'm not talking about New World now. I'm talking about when New World came out. One of the biggest issues was the leveling up was slow and boring. Like a lot of players will play a lot of hours in a game and a challenge. They'll put a lot of hours into playing a game if it's fun and enjoyable. If it's not fun, like I had friends that Blap is in chat. Blap, you can talk about it if you want. But he played for like 40 or 50 hours of just doing fetch quests in New World. Like go do this, come back. And it wasn't enjoyable. And he will not hop back on the game now. There's so many people that played when New World came out and they won't play it anymore because there's just not a whole lot to do. Even veteran players are having issues playing the game for a long period of time because there's just not a ton going on. There's not a ton going on in the world. And so you gave New World 2 chances? That's more than most, man. That's a lot more than most. New World questing sucks. Exactly. And so I think when you have a map that has that kind of space, that has that little going on, I think you have to almost treat the map like there's going to be no PvP happening at all. And I'm not saying that's going to be the case. I'm just saying you have to treat it that way. And I think as long as if Ashes treats like I have my top 10 all-time video games, right? Like we had this discussion in the Discord, the furry Discord with 6. We had a discussion on our top 10 games. One of my top 10 games that will always be up there is Oblivion. And the reason I enjoyed Oblivion so much is although it did have fetch quests, it also had just immersive dungeon experience and an immersive world experience. And it's funny because I went and looked and I was like, wow, how big is Oblivion? Like how big is the Oblivion map compared to other MMOs? Because I was curious. And it is almost exactly the same size as New Worlds. And so it's kind of great. Like if you've played Oblivion and you've experienced the world experience for Oblivion and you've played New World, they're the same size map according to the internet, and the internet's always right, guys. It's always right. It's never wrong. But like that type of world experience is, it can really make or break a game. And I'm not saying it has to be Oblivion. Oblivion is much older and all that, but it's like, I would go back and I'd play Oblivion right now. And I know the combat would be outdated, but just with how well designed, like all the dungeons were and all the, like the main storylines were, like, I mean, the Dark Brotherhood, my God, the Thieves Guild, and obviously like Shimmering Isles was the best DLC I've ever experienced. It was so good. Only good thing about New World's combat, yeah, I think the combat's great. Elder Scrolls 4, yeah, Oblivion's my favorite, like one of my favorite games of all time. It was fantastic. It was fantastic. Shimmering Isles was great, so good. But the world experience is fantastic. And so there's no open world PvP in Oblivion. Like I'm a PvP enjoyer, but I really, Oblivion is one of my top 10 of all time games because they did it so well. Like they did that aspect so well. And so I think that's how you got to look at it. I think if you look at that and you see like what Oblivion did with storylines with people or different immersive events, Elden Ring is it's a way more recent example for people a lot younger. Elden Ring, like if you play solo, like there's no PvP, obviously, but the world experience in Elden Ring is fantastic. Like playing solo in Elden Ring and like going around and like doing different quests, adventuring through the world, like that is solo world experience done right. And so I think obviously these aren't MMOs, but I think when you compare games, I think you want to make sure when you have a vast world, you have those types of experiences really well fleshed out, because if it doesn't exist in a good way, it's not going to be fun for a lot of players. You have diehard PvPers like me, but you have a lot of other people that want to go chop down trees. They want to go quest. They want to go adventure. If there's nowhere to adventure, they're not going to stay. And yeah, like that's my main point. They're not going to stay, and that's what we saw with New World. That's why their retention tanks so badly. That's why New World is going through and redoing their main story questline. Like New World is currently in the process of redoing their main story because it had such low retention. And if you want to keep a veteran player base, you need to make all that beginner stuff good so that players stay around long enough to become veteran players. Excuse me. There's an MP mod for the Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind with PvP. Oh my god. Okay, I'll have to talk to you about that later, Six, because I would, yeah, I am interested. I'm definitely interested. I already know with my lifestyle I'll be far behind most, but I'm playing this game because I see the promise. They're much further along than they show us, and so I feel they're going to get this right. I think so too. But like we haven't seen the world yet. And so if people want to talk about the game, like where the game will fail, this is where I could see it failing. Like if the world isn't immersive and fun and enjoyable and like there isn't good world events, like we were just talking about Guild Wars 2. Nice was telling me about how good the Guild Wars 2 world events are, like how much he enjoys actually participating in them. And Nice is just as much of a PvPer as I am, if not more. But if it's done well, you'll play it, right? You can spend hours, if not days, doing a quest in them games like Oblivion. Exactly. Like one of my friends, he had Oblivion and he got the Mehrunes Dagon dagger like add-on. And so it was this quest where you had to delve into this deep dungeon to go down and recover Mehrunes Dagon's dagger. And like it was this very powerful dagger that you could use in Oblivion. And I was like, "Oh, cool. This looks like a fun add-on, right?" And the add-on was so well done. Like I had to go into the city. I had to go. I think it was actually just the Cyrodiil city. I went into Cyrodiil, or went into the main city, and then I had to go into the catacombs, and then I proceeded to spend the next 3 to 4 hours killing vampires, like the hardest fucking vampire levels that I've experienced in the game. I had such a hard time killing them, and yeah, all of a sudden I looked up and like 4 hours had passed, and I was like, I got to get out of here. Like I was so immersed in this random. I thought it was gonna be a random side quest, like it was gonna take me like 30 minutes, and it was so good. And obviously that's not a main add-on, but all the Shimmering Isles is exactly like that as well. All the Shimmering Isles quests, the characters were laid out so well, and all that is just so good. And you could see like a game like Oblivion or a game like Elden Ring with diverse characters like that really brings the game to light. Like it really shines and shows how good those games are. And so if you can do 70 to 80 to 90% of that, and then you also have the aspect of open world PvP anywhere else in the world, I think you're shaping up to have a very, very good game. And that's going to be something I'm going to be looking about and talking about when I get an alpha too. ESO's the same way. I only do the new quests for the skill points. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. It's an MMO, and it's funny because like I've always thought that the ESO quest lines were kind of boring. Like they're all fetch quests from one to the other. The main story quest line isn't too bad, in my opinion. But when you start playing other MMOs, ESO actually does theirs pretty well, relative. Like it's on a lower scale as far as like MMOs go, but like ESO's main story quest line compared to New World's, oh my gosh, it's great. Like I wish the difficulty was a little bit harder. The difficulty in New World is much better, but the story is infinitely better. I found my old Oblivion PC disc. Let's go, dude. I've strongly considered rebuy. Like I've put hundreds of hours into that game. I've thought about getting it again. I know it's cheap, but part of me, like, you know how when you haven't played something for a while and you just don't want to ruin that old thing? Like you have your view on what it is. I have my view on what Oblivion is, and I'd hate to go back and it gets ruined, right? Like watching some old TV shows from when you were a kid. Like I went back and I watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the original ones from like the 90s and shit. And yeah, I was expecting something awesome, and I was so disappointed. ESO story is better, but Molag Ball boss fight is actually sad how easy it is. I completely agree. Molag Ball's boss fight could be so good. It really could. Like that the entire animations and everything is so great. Like you're actually like a god going to fight him. And then yeah, it becomes easy. It's just disappointing. My wife has never played it. I'm gonna put it on her PC. Oh man, that's a nice surprise, man. Tell her happy anniversary and just let her go to work. When is the Sky Oblivion thing coming out? They're doing an Oblivion. I heard they're doing an Oblivion remake, aren't they? I don't know what's. I actually don't know what Sky Oblivion is. I guess I'm just. What's Sky Oblivion? Yeah, TS Renewal Modding Group that aim to bring the other scroll. Yeah, new generation. Yeah. I don't know when it. I think it's supposed to be soon, right? Sorry, I'm trying to pull up news now. I've thought about getting that as well. Oh, Oblivion and Skyrim Engine. Okay. Oh, what game is this? This is Ashes of Creation. This is the Alpha 2 for it. Mr. Piping. Good to see you. Played Borderlands 2 again last year, and it was worth it. Okay. Wish ESO allowed for mobs to crit would make Overland more compelling. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Am I playing this now live as AOC? No, this is a recording. I'm just talking. We have a live stream tomorrow. There's a live stream tomorrow going over the combat preview for Ashes of Creation, and it's the first combat preview they're doing. So I'm having a live stream kind of talking about tomorrow, talking about other things related to the game. And yeah, we'll be doing a podcast tomorrow talking about that as well. My next gaming stream, if Six is still in here, I was told to stream some Elden Ring, and so I think the next stream I do, I will actually stream some Elden Ring PvP. I'm gonna be very bad. I'll be honest, guys. I'm dog shit at Elden Ring PvP, but it's a good time. It is a very, very good time, and so yeah. So yeah, so I finished the main thing for Elden Ring last week, and then I started PvPing on Friday. Six helped me out. Appreciated Six. And we actually got like a good fight night going on Saturday. But Friday I got like 20 to 30 duels in, and I want to say I won like 5 of them. I want to say I went like 5 and 30 on the first day. I was using my PvE setup because I didn't really have anything else, and it didn't go well at all. And then I talked to 2 guys in my Discord. I talked to Six and I talked to Blaze, and they got me set up a little bit better PvP wise with a better PvP build. And I was still bad, but I dueled a bit on Sunday, and I want to say I won like 40 to 50%. So I went from like complete dog shit, losing everything, to like actually holding my own a little bit. And so that was kind of fun to see the progress, even though I got murked a lot in a row. Like it was like 5, 6, 7 times in a row. And then I went on like a 4 or 5 win streak. And I was like, okay, cool. So I have to beat Melania too. But yeah, those are going to be that's going to be the next gaming live stream I do for those curious. What else? What else was I going to talk about? So yeah, sometimes it'd be like that. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we talked about it. I just don't know the weapons. And so that's kind of the cool part about figuring out that game is figuring out weapons, figuring out what combinations, figuring out how people are going to close on you. A lot of people are very linear in how they play. They'll play. They're obviously good players too, but a lot of the players, like they were one trick ponies, but I had never seen the trick before, and I just got wrecked. I got absolutely wrecked. But it was fun because the time to kill was nice, and it was fun combat. I was thinking about breaking out the old EverQuest game for old time's sake, but I agree. I'm not sure I want to ruin the memories. Like watching Goonies as an adult just doesn't hold the same appeal. Yeah, that's my concern. That's my concern. I'll when they do the Oblivion remake, I'll probably try it, but I'm concerned that it might ruin it for me. Even when you do, there are some crazy good players out there that make me look like they're beating up a small child. Oh yeah, there was some of that too. But like there's some and this is the fun part about figuring out combat, right? Like tying it back into Ashes of Creation is there's going to be 64 classes. There's 64 classes. There's going to be all these different spell augments and types and everything. And it's going to be, I have a feeling that the combat in Ashes is going to be as extensive as the weapon layouts that are in Elden Ring. Like it's not going to be the same type of combat. I'm not trying to compare the two, but there's going to be so many different weapon layouts, different skill layouts, different things. And you look at like what Elden Ring has, you have so many different greatswords that have different swing speeds, they have different damage amounts, they have different lengths, and those are just greatswords. Then you have pole arms that you have your double-edged swords, you have your small swords, you have your long swords, like you have your daggers, you have bows, like, and then like you said, you have ashes, you have spells, and it's just trying to figure out the timing on all these different things and different combos you can line up. And it's fun because there's just so many different things you could do, which is really cool. Yeah, I think Ashes is going to have a pretty intensive weapon layout. They did actually post it. Hold on, let's see if I can find it. They posted a tweet earlier today. They went through some of their weapons that they're going to have. I don't want to talk on my ass too much on their weapons. There it is. Am I part of the alpha? Yes, I am. It comes out Q3 of this year. So anywhere from roughly July to what? September? July to September of this year is when Alpha 2 will come out. Is this re-release of Oblivion going to be old school or updated graphics? Six said it's going to be a Skyrim engine remake. All right. Here's the video that they posted on Twitter earlier showing weapons. Sorry, let me show a display. I am on Twitter occasionally. It is a cesspool. I can't avoid it because it's just too much fun sometimes. So this is the tweet they had earlier today. And it said, there are a bunch of new weapons being created for players to use when in Vera. Which of these weapons are most exciting for you? So if we make sure this works okay. So they got a tome book or a spell book, I guess. So it's probably just for different spell casting and everything, I would assume. Daggers. We got some non-straight edge daggers. That'll be fun. I'm guessing this is like a spell bomb. I don't know what this actually would be. I would assume this is some sort of like spell bomb that you throw into an area. I mean the whole game, or at least early access. Alpha 2, yeah, Alpha 2 release, so anybody with an Alpha 2 key will be able to play this year. I'm assuming that my kind of guess for the full game release will be like 2026. That would be my guess. So yeah, so they got this. And then obviously we got this fucking badass thing. This hammer. Mace looking, maul looking thing. We got a staff here. How much more time we got? Yeah, there's my bay right there. We got a spear. I love the reach weapons. What is this? Oh, they got wands. That's right. They got wands and ashes as well. So yeah, so they have a pretty. I think their weapon layout's going to be pretty extensive, but we'll see. It's a spell casting focus. Okay, so it like boosts your spell casting. Is that what it is? I'm gonna read some of the chat. Oh, it is a focus used for channeling. Oh, used for channeling mana. Okay, thank you. I see that now. No gauntlets. Yeah, gauntlets would be pretty sick too. I do like a good gauntlet. Yeah, that's a obviously they're two different types of games, right? Elden Ring and what Ashes is going to be. They're two very very different games, but having an extensive amount of spells, skills, and abilities just opens up build opportunity for different play styles, and different play styles, breeds replayability in my opinion. So I'm excited for the PvP showcase tomorrow. I'm really excited to see what happens with it. I'm hopeful we'll see some of these weapons that they have on Twitter. All right. Well, yeah, guys, we are about an hour in here. I wanted to do a quick live stream just to kind of talk about what's happening tomorrow, kind of talk about the upcoming things. And I think we did that pretty well. If you guys want to talk about anything else for a little bit here, we can do that. But if not, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. We're gonna have a lot to cover tomorrow with the live stream with combat and everything, and so that'll be fun. That's gonna be a lot of fun to do. And then later on in the week, like probably Friday or Saturday, I'll do some Elden Ring streaming, and we'll see how it goes. So about the ESO PTS notes yesterday, that set that rewards are the worthy, that set pen for major buffs plus spell minors. Think it's to beat down 1 bar builds and werewolves. Yeah, I could see that. Like the Oaken Soul builds. I still stand that set is going to be decent. I think it's pretty easy to get to 8 or 9 major buffs. Then you start adding in 9 minor buffs and you get to 2, 3, 400 weapon damage. Like it's with all that pen, like it could be pretty solid. Proc sets are going to be better though. Like proc sets are already better. And so that's like, I look at it as, because I'm not a huge proc set fan, so I look at other damage sets, but I'm putting myself behind when I don't do that, right? So we talked about the combat, we talked about the funny pictures, we talked about the world events. Yeah, I think that's it. So I'm just gonna love no proc campaigns. Yeah, I hear you there. If you get Power World, I have a server with Epic Ninja and E-Man. You guys are welcome to join. Okay. I've been thinking about it, man. I've been thinking about giving Pal World a shot because everybody I've talked to says it's a lot of fun. Like everybody I talk to says it's a lot of fun, and so I'm just sitting there like, okay, maybe I got to give this a shot. Plus, it's on Game Pass, right? So it's kind of cheap to have access to. We talked about you being a size queen. Oh yes, we did talk about me being a size queen. Size is everything, man. Never forget it. Never forget it. I don't think I actually said that. I think the PvP will be awesome. Yeah, I kind of want to get my hands on some of the combat because then you can kind of see in advance if the PvP is going to be any good, right? Like that's how I kind of view it. But yeah, if you're playing and you enjoy it, then like you're gonna have that same perspective that yeah, the PvP is gonna be pretty sick. So but yeah, guys, just a quick live stream today. We got an hour and 10 minutes in. I will be back on tomorrow, 7:30 Eastern. I'm pretty sure is when we're gonna do our podcast. So thanks for hanging out. Thanks for chatting. We'll do that podcast tomorrow. I'll post on my channel if I actually cover the live stream while it's happening. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to, but we'll see. I'll let you know in the morning. We'll see how everything goes, and yeah, just plan on 7:30 tomorrow for sure. But I will catch you guys then. It was good talking to everybody. Have a good one.